In the Bible, we find incredible stories, and one of the most impressive is that of Joshua. He was a great soldier and leader who succeeded Moses. The story tells that, because of Joshua's prayer, the sun stood still in the sky for almost an entire day. This happened so that the people of Israel could defeat their enemies in a very important battle. Joshua was the one who led the Israelites to the Promised Land, a feat that still baffles scientists today, as the one in command was the creator of the universe himself. This incredible story is one of many that we share here on this channel. Watch the video to the end to learn all the details about Joshua's life, one of the greatest leaders mentioned in the Bible. Joshua is an impressive figure from the Old Testament, known for his leadership, unwavering faith, and courage. He succeeded Moses and led the Israelites in battles and conquests to reach the Promised Land. Joshua's journey is a fascinating example of trust in God, intelligent military strategies, and obedience to divine instructions. After the liberation of the people of Israel from Egypt, led by Moses, they faced a long period of wandering in the desert. Moses was the great leader, prophet, and spiritual guide. But when he passed away near the Promised Land, the Israelites were left without a leader. It was at this moment that God chose Joshua to be the new leader. This choice gave Joshua great authority and responsibility. Joshua was from the tribe of Ephraim and had been one of the 12 spies sent by Moses to explore the Promised Land. His faithfulness and positive report about the fertile and abundant land strengthened the faith of the Israelites in God's promise. This experience made the people trust Joshua as their leader. When Joshua became the leader, God gave him a very clear message: be strong and courageous. He was to always think about God's laws, day and night, to be successful. This was very important because Joshua had the mission of guiding the people in conquering the Promised Land and building a nation based on God's principles. Joshua's faith was unshakable. He truly believed in God's promise to give the land to the Israelites, even though there were enormous challenges along the way. Besides having great courage, Joshua was humble. Even as the leader, he did not seek glory for himself, but rather to honor God and follow his commandments. This humble attitude made the people trust him. As a military leader, Joshua organized the army of Israel into tribes and chose military leaders to assist him in battles. He used intelligent strategies, such as dividing the army into 3 parts to surround the city of Ai, and sent spies to scout before battles. These tactics demonstrated his wisdom and strategic leadership. The story of Joshua takes place during a period of transition and challenges for the people of Israel. Joshua's selection as leader was crucial for continuing the journey toward the Promised Land. His faith, courage, humility, and obedience to God made him an exceptional leader. One of the most famous battles that Joshua led was the conquest of Jericho. The city was fortified with gigantic walls and seemed impossible to take. Joshua followed God's instructions faithfully. For 7 days, the Israelites circled the city, making a complete circuit of its walls each day. On the 7th day, they marched around the city 7 times. When the trumpets sounded and the people shouted, the walls of Jericho miraculously fell down. This victory demonstrated the power of God and the importance of Joshua's and the people's obedience. After Jericho, Joshua led the Israelites in several other battles to conquer more cities and lands. The Canaanites were the main enemies, and Joshua showed great military skills. He divided the promised lands among the 12 tribes of Israel and helped consolidate their territorial conquests. A notable episode occurred during a battle against the Amorites. Joshua said, "Sun, stand still over Gibeon, and you, moon, over the valley of Aijalon." The story tells that the sun stood still and the moon stopped until the Israelites had defeated their enemies. It was a unique day when God listened to a man and fought for Israel. This event is a clear example of divine intervention and Joshua's faith in God. Joshua was a leader who marked the history of the people of Israel with his faith and obedience to God. He teaches us that trusting in God and following his instructions can lead us to achieve incredible things. On the way to the Promised Land, Joshua and the Israelites faced many challenges. Each battle was a test of faith, courage, and strategy. One of these challenges was the alliance of Amorite kings led by Adoni-zedek, the king of Jerusalem. He gathered 4 other kings, Hoam of Hebron, Piram of Jarmuth, Japhia of Lachish, and Gibeon of Eglon to fight against the Israelites. This coalition of kings was a powerful force, and their goal was to prevent the Israelite conquest. Knowing the danger this alliance posed, Joshua took swift action. He led his soldiers on a night march from Gilgal, surprising the enemies at dawn. The battle was intense, but Joshua showed courage and strategy, leading his troops to victory with divine help. During the battle, God hurled large stones from heaven upon the Amorites, killing more enemies than the swords of the Israelites. Additionally, Joshua asked God to stop the sun over Gibeon and the moon in the valley of Aijalon, so they would have more time to completely defeat their enemies. And, miraculously, the sun stood still in the sky for almost an entire day. This was an incredible demonstration of God's power and Joshua's faith. Another important battle was against Hazor, a Canaanite city with a strong army. Hazor was the principal Canaanite city and had great influence in the region. Gibeon, the king of Hazor, gathered a massive army of allies, including horses and chariots, to face the Israelites. This military force was formidable and could have intimidated any other leader. However, Joshua fully trusted in God's help. He assembled his army and, with courage, attacked Hazor by surprise. God encouraged Joshua, telling him not to be afraid, for he would deliver all the enemies into Israel's hands. Joshua and his warriors fought bravely, and with God's help, they conquered the city and defeated the Canaanites. They burned Hazor and destroyed its inhabitants, ensuring that this stronghold would not pose a threat again. This victory was significant because Hazor was a powerful and influential city, and its fall represented a decisive blow against Canaanite resistance. After these victories, Joshua had the crucial task of dividing the conquered lands among the tribes of Israel, fulfilling God's purpose. This division was not just a matter of logistics. It was a confirmation of God's promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Each tribe received a portion of land according to divine guidance. Joshua called representatives of each tribe, and with the help of the priest Eleazar and the tribal leaders, cast lots to determine the distribution of the lands. Joshua also established cities of refuge, where people who committed involuntary manslaughter could seek asylum and have a fair trial. Additionally, he designated cities for the Levites, the tribe responsible for religious duties and service to the tabernacle. These actions ensured that justice, order, and worship of God were maintained in the new land. Joshua's leadership was crucial in consolidating the people of Israel in the Promised Land. He not only conquered lands, but also established a structure for communal life based on God's laws and principles. His obedience to God and dedication to the well-being of the people left a lasting legacy. In summary, Joshua was a remarkable leader who, with faith and courage, overcame enormous challenges and fulfilled the divine promise of establishing the people of Israel in the Promised Land. His military victories, such as the battles against the alliance of Amorite kings and the city of Hazor, were significant milestones in this journey. The distribution of the lands and the organization of Israelite society demonstrated his wisdom and commitment to God's plans. Joshua is remembered as a leader who, trusting in God, guided his people through difficulties and helped lay the foundations for the nation of Israel. Interesting facts about Joshua. In addition to his battles and conquests, there are some interesting facts about Joshua. His name comes from Hebrew and means Jehovah is salvation. This name reflects the importance of faith and salvation in Joshua's life. He was a faithful companion and assistant to Moses throughout Moses' leadership. Joshua accompanied Moses in his encounter with God on Mount Sinai and witnessed many miracles up close. Even after the great conquests, Joshua continued to lead the people. The full story of Joshua is inspiring and filled with lessons on leadership, faith, and courage. He was an incredible leader who led the Israelites in epic battles, always trusting in the power of God. His victories, such as the fall of the walls of Jericho and the defeat of powerful nations, are clear examples of divine intervention and obedience to God. Joshua's journey teaches us the importance of faith in the face of challenges and trust in divine guidance. His legacy continues to inspire people around the world. When we look at Joshua's story and his battles, we are invited to reflect on our own journey of faith and overcoming difficulties. Just as Joshua trusted God to achieve victories, we too can find strength and courage in our walk. facing challenges and achieving our goals with unwavering faith. Joshua was a true man of God. Final message. I would like to know what you think about this story. Leave your comment. Your opinion is very important to us. And if you are not yet subscribed, subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any interesting videos.